Hello, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching it from. You're welcome to Health Talks with Dr. Okwe. Now, I promised in my first video on abortion that I was going to tell you what I told my friend. I gave her the fictional name of Iyabo. What I told Iyabo that convinced her to keep her baby. Because she came to me, like I mentioned in my earlier videos, and said she had a problem and she wanted to get rid of her pregnancy. And I've spoken a little bit about abortion, and miscarriage. And I'm just going to quickly give you the download, on what our discussion was. I may not be able to say word for word, but the ideas are still the same. And this is what I told Iyabo. I mentioned to her, and this is usually the prime thing about abortion, that a life is a life. A life is a life. And this is not just a sperm on its own or an egg on its own. This is the union between a sperm and an egg. And it has already started growing. And given the natural course of things undisturbed, this will become an adult human being. It's become a baby and an adult human being finally in the end. That was one. Second thing I told her were the risks of the procedure of abortion, particularly when improperly done, which it is as in most cases. There's risks to the woman, injury to the female genital organs. There's a risk of excessive bleeding, which could lead to death. There's a risk of infection with its immediate, intermediate, and long-term complications, one of which is subfertility and infertility, difficulty with having children later on in life. Related to that, I explained to her that there are many people looking for children who would give almost anything to be in the same shoes that she is currently trying to extricate herself from. Related to that, I also mentioned to her that what if this was the only child she would ever have in her life? We don't know what the future holds or may be, but what if after this child she never had another child? Then how would she live, not just live with herself, but what would be the state of her life if she realizes that, she could have had a child in the past and now is now finding it difficult to get a child in the future? So I'll say with this and many words related to this, I spoke with Iyabo, and months down the line she calls me to tell me she's keeping the baby, and then months down the line she has given birth to this baby, and that this was many years ago. Many years ago. So this is the summary of what I related to this call member, patient of mine who met me in my consulting room over 15 years ago, or about 15 years ago. And with that, I fulfilled my promise on telling you what I told her. If you have any comments, or differences in opinion, or any further additional thoughts on this, I'll be looking forward to hearing from you in the comment section. God bless you, and have a great day. I'll see you in my next post on Health Talks with Dr. Okwe. I'll do my best to become more regular than I've been so far. Thank you for your time and attention. God bless you, and bye.